Yeah. Have you been there to Cafe
No,
Tomas?
you know what? Someone needs to get married and invite me to their wedding in New Orleans because it seems like
It's
a party destination, so it
exactly
does.
100%. This is lacking in my life. Would somebody please get married and invite me to New Orleans?
Coming up on Need to Know, the 2025 Pebble Beach Food and Wine Festival, Spring Baking Championship Show, and desserts inspired by your spring break getaways. That and everything else you need to know. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Need to Know. I'm Gemma Stafford, professional chef, cookbook author, and the creator of Bigger Bolder Baking. And as always, I have my two lovely co-hosts. Ami Shukla is the culinary director at Bigger Bolder Baking, and then Tiana Cohen, who is a professional host and an amateur baker.
Hello.
How are you doing, ladies?
So good. I'm so excited because here we are. It's the last day of March. We talked a few episodes ago, about spring, but now we're fully immersed into it. And we have so many incredible things. I feel like this is the time of year where there's all the outdoor activities start happening. You have parties outside and there's festivals and there's concerts in the park. So I'm just so excited. So the first thing I want to talk about actually is the Pebble Beach Food and Wine Festival, which is happening just up here in a few weeks in April. It's kicking off April 10th through the 13th. And why this is so cool and so important to the baking world is it's really this opportunity for Michelin star chefs, James Beard Award nominees and winners to all come together for this big culinary educational weekend. And it's actually being hosted this year by Nancy Silverton, who owns Mazza Pizza in LA. And so I know we've know her loosely. And so I just think that's kind of so cool to see, in this beautiful community, people keep going back and giving back to younger aspiring chefs, people like that. Have either of you ever been to the Pebble?
No, I would love to go.
Yes. And I as well would love to go.
And it's gorgeous. Pebble, have you ever been to Pebble Beach?
Just driven through it years ago.
Yeah, me too. I've driven there because Kevin has family from around that area. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's a really special part of California.
Yeah, and I was reading that there's over 40 wineries that contribute to the weekend. So you get to try taste local, and then they have other guest chefs coming in from all over the United States. So super exciting. I know they invite all the James Beard nominees for the year, and it's kind of like their touch base before they eventually award the winner, which will be later in May. It's kind of like award season for the food world, as we just kind of came out of award season for celebrities, and they went to the Golden Globes and the SAG Awards and then the Oscars. It's James Beard Award is the Oscars of the food world. So super exciting stuff. But moving on into more fun things hot from the oven. So we talked about spring baking a few episodes ago. And then after we talked about it, I found this show called Spring Baking Championship. And it's literally a baking competition show all about spring baking. Have you seen this?
I saw one episode of this, and it was their flowers and fruit episode. So they had to they all got a fruit and a flower, papaya and hibiscus, and then had to turn it into a dessert. And what happens to me whenever I watch any cooking show is I had this weird mix of stress and competitiveness and fear, which is what always happens to me. I'm I could do that. No, I can't. I can't do what they did. Oh my God, they're so good. Oh, what do I do? It's just they're so, I can understand why they're so compelling, these cooking shows, but I find them really hard to watch. They're scary. I'm scared for the competitors, and I feel, I don't know, it's
scared for the judges tasting the food.
It's reality TV, so there's definitely a visceral reaction where you're kind of in your seat, oh God, yes. And then you're oh, okay.
Yeah, but these are all very accomplished pastry chefs who've been working professionally, doing these very cool things. I don't know. Somehow I found it. Was it intimidating, or was I jealous of them, or was it just scary because somebody's going to lose and they're all so gifted in baking these incredible desserts? I don't know.
Well, what I thought was so interesting, so it's a spring baking championship. So every episode is like around a different spring theme. So like Easter, Mother's Day, graduation, prom. But then they did a whole episode about spring break baking. And I was just like, that is such an interesting approach of spring break as like a topic of baking. Like, where do you go? What destinations of spring break can influence baking and desserts? So we're going on spring break right now for In the Mix, and we're going to talk about some top spring break destinations and their top desserts. So kicking things off, as we said earlier, Florida, we're going to Miami with key lime pie.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love a good key lime
Yeah.
pie. It's so refreshing. It's so good.
It's light, it's springy, it's cheesecake. We talked about this when we talked about spring baking a few weeks back. Cheesecakes are always a bit, and it's not cheesecake, don't get me wrong, but it's that kind of pie that is like, it's light, it's airy. It reminds me of a cheesecake.
Can I tell you, I discovered something about key limes is like, you know, you can make a key lime pie with just lime juice, but in at least someone just told me that in like the juice section of the grocery stores, at least around here, you can get bottled key lime juice.
Hey.
And it's really good. Like, and we were talking about it in terms of a cocktail or something. And he was like, definitely get the bottled key lime juice. And I was like, ew, really? And it's so good. And it's really different than regular lime juice. So if you can find it in your grocery store, try it out.
Is it in the drink section?
You know, it's in the non-frozen, like in the bottled juice section.
I love like a lime, like a gimlet or something like that.
Yeah, try it with the key lime juice. It's really good. So if you want to have that real authentic flavor and you're not going to make it to Florida this spring break.
There you go. This is like so random, but a few years ago, my fiance's cousin, who's younger, he's like a teenager, it was his birthday, and I was like, oh, I'll make you a cake. What do you want for your birthday? And he was like, I want key lime pie. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, but I'll try my best. It's kind of tricky to make completely, because I guess they sell like a key lime pie mix that people use,
like a Jello mix or something.
Like it's like all you have to add is that and want like like a cake mix.
You can make it from scratch.
So easy.
Yeah. You know, you have a graham cracker crust, so you don't even have to bake the crust, and then you mix together a can of condensed milk, some key lime juice, and an egg, and put it in a pan and bake it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or so.
Yeah, it tasted good. He was the only person that ate it. Everyone else was like, no thanks.
I will say I love key lime because of the cookie crust.
Yeah.
You have to have a cookie crust. And I've made it with ginger snaps before.
Ooh, that sounds
So
really
good.
good.
Yeah,
That sounds
it
really good.
is.
Yeah. I love a good key lime pie.
Me too.
Yeah.
What's our next
We're moving
destination?
on.
Where are we going?
We're still staying tropical. We're going to Cancun with
Ooh.
Tres Leches cake.
Oh, another favorite. I
do like
love a
Tres
Tres
Leches
Leches cake. We have a good one on Bigger Boulder Baking. It's so yummy. Easy.
Yeah.
Interesting that both of those kind of use that sweetened condensed, right? Don't you use condensed milk for Tres Leches cake too?
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use condensed milk, evaporated milk, and then you can use either heavy cream or milk, depending on how rich you want it.
Next, we're going to Honolulu with hapia, which is a coconut pudding.
Yum.
Coconut pudding.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yum.
delicious.
I would like that. I've been to Honolulu. Have you been to Hawaii?
I've been to Hawaii a number of times. I always think about Hawaii with banana bread, number one, and then butter mochi. But
Yeah.
I've never had hapia.
No, me neither. Are the shaved ice?
Oh yeah, the
that's
shaved
what I was
ice.
gonna say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you get the shave ice and you have your ice
The
cream
legit,
underneath.
Yeah,
really big one.
gigantic shaved ices.
One of my favorite vacation memories is it be like being at the beaches of Hawaii and then it starts pouring rain and then everyone just goes and gets shave ice while you wait out the rainstorm and then the rain stops. You go back to the
Or
beach.
you just drive to a different part of the island.
Yeah,
where it's
you just,
sunny.
you have like run away from the storm as you're going. So another spring break destination, not tropical, but New York City.
Oh, yay.
And with the New York cheesecake.
So yeah, we actually did spring break 2 years ago with George in New York. It's a great destination. Who doesn't love New York any time of the year?
100%. Did you have good weather or was it rainy?
No, I think it was. I think it was like windy and cold.
Yeah. It's one or the other, right? It's either like 70 degrees
Yeah.
and gorgeous or likely rainy.
It was a funny one, but
But you're in New York, so
you're
it's
in New York.
awesome.
You're in
no matter what.
like a bustling city. It was great,
Yeah.
and it's also a great city for kids if you are thinking spring break with kids.
So I have a few more here. I'll just kind of rapid fire off some of these. Another spring break destination, maybe not for kids, is Las Vegas. And this one, the common dessert was chocolate fountains, like at buffets.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
sure.
actually feel like buffets and like that kind of communal thing has kind of gone away.
I think that stopped 5 years ago?
Yeah. The next one is New Orleans, which I thought was an interesting spring break location. But then obviously the big dessert there is beignets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about.
Beignets are so delicious. They're iconic. And like the thing about beignets is that they're so iconic to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got to go to New Orleans for a wedding back in October, and the bride is from there. And then we were all going out, and she, like, everyone's minds were on like get to the bar, and my mind was go to Cafe Du Monde. And so it was like midnight because it's open so late. It was really late at night, and everyone was like trickling into the next stop, and I diverted and I got a big old bag of beignets, just eating them by myself.
That's a really, you have to go.
Yeah.
It's just
It's so
yeah.
fun.
Have you been there to Cafe Du
No,
Monde?
you know what? Someone needs to get married and invite me to their wedding in New
Yeah.
Orleans, because it seems like
It was
It's
the
a party
most fun.
destination, so it does.
Exactly,
Yeah.
100%. You know, this is lacking in my life. Would somebody please get married and invite me to New
Yes.
Orleans?
You could just go too. You
Yeah,
don't have
they
to
sell
go.
flights
well.
to there.
You don't need an invitation.
No, but I need a good reason to go to New Orleans. I mean, you know, yes, the beignets are a pull, but you know.
So some other fun places are Sedona, which they are known for their prickly pear sorbet.
Oh, I love Sedona. It's gorgeous. And have you ever seen like prickly pear or like used it and anything?
No.
It's okay. So it's
I've seen it, but I've
yeah.
never had it.
It can be like, you know, if it's not like cleaned well on the outside, it can have these fine little needles on the outside, which is not okay. So I actually prefer it if somebody else has prepared it in like a sorbet or a lemonade, but it gets this like fuchsia hot pink color. It is so gorgeous. It is so beautiful. And the fruit itself almost tastes like I want to say it almost tastes like a watermelon. Like it's kind of like it has a very similar, it's very seedy, but it has a similar texture and it's very juicy. You know, cactuses retain a lot of water, which is one of the reasons why they survive in very dry conditions. But yeah, that's a fun one to try.
Yeah.
I've never been to Sedona.
Oh, it's magical.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really, really a special place.
Nice.
Fun. All right, just a few more. And then I want to get your guys' thoughts on some other fun flavors. But so you got flan in Costa Rica. You got butter tarts in Banff.
I love butter tarts.
Mm-hmm.
I love Banff.
Oh,
Banff is
yeah,
so
I want to
great.
get to Banff.
You have Bahama Mama cake in the Bahamas. Say that 10 times fast.
What is Bahama Mama cake?
You
I
know,
don't know what that is.
That's a great question.
You have to go to the Bahamas.
You have to go to the Bahamas.
Oh,
Look it
okay.
up.
All right. Someone has to get married in the Bahamas.
Let's look. Let's be educated. Bahama
Someone
Mama
please have spring break destination weddings and invite me to all of them, please.
Then we have in Tulum churros.
Love churros. I like Tulum too. We both of us actually were in Tulum, not at the same time, but we did Christmas in Tulum the year before last, and the food in Tulum is amazing.
Yeah, there are some restaurants that are like some of the best meals I've ever had in my life, in the world, in the places I've eaten. I love Tulum. It's very special.
You know what? Somebody should get married there.
Somebody please get married in Tulum.
In Tulum.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't or you're not maybe going to one of these locations for spring break, what are some ways to bring these flavors to you here or wherever you are from? Like how can you make the tropics or Tulum come to your home? What would you make? What would you do?
You know, funny, I do love tropical flavors for that very reason. We were on set the other day and somebody put on, because it was sunny here in LA, somebody put on sun cream. And it was like this coconutty sun cream. And like right then and there, like everybody was like, I feel like I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
So like I do love pineapple drinks and desserts, ice creams. I do rice pudding which you can do hot or cold. I like it hot, but with a little like salsa of mango and lime and strawberries mixed together. There's so many ways, especially like this time of year, that you can make like tropical flavors, desserts and drinks, and even like your meals, you know, like putting pineapple with like meats and things like that. I love it.
Yeah. A lot of tropical fruits don't cook very well. I mean, I know people make like a mango cheesecake or something like that, but I definitely think of tropical fruits as something, they're so flavorful and intense, and you kind of, you can use them raw. You can make like a pavlova with cream, and you can chop up mango and kiwi, add some lime to it, or you can make a coconut. We have a recipe for a coconut jelly, or like a coconut pudding, sort of a coconut panna cotta, that you can put any kind of chopped tropical fruit, papaya, mango. Another thing that I love to do is there's a Thai, I live really near Thai town, but any local Asian grocery store will have canned lychees in syrup. Fresh lychees are amazing. If those are just fun to eat. But if you want to make a quick granita, you just take a can of lychee in the syrup, you put it in a blender with like a squeeze of lime, and then you make it like you would any granita, which is you put it in a bowl in the freezer, and every hour just scrape up the shards. And then you get this incredible lychee granita that you can eat by itself. You can put in a glass and put a shot of vodka on top of it. You can, or your drink of choice.
That's the spring break I remember.
Yeah. or don't remember very much of.
There's on the website on biggerbolderbaking.com, I have the 5-minute sorbets, which the rule is you can pretty much take any frozen food, has to be frozen, and blend it and make your own sorbet. It's lovely when you give it maybe a few hours in the freezer and then scoop it. But I have you can do any flavor you want, but I do have pineapple and coconut, and then there's one that really stands out to me, which was mango and lime. Mm-hmm. And like Ami said, you can do it as part of a drink. You can have it just like as is, really like just delicious, so refreshing, and like light. There's not the additive of our baking lots of other times a year has a lot of butter and sugar. It's a great time to utilize fruit in season.
I do want to say though, I did say fruit should be, a lot of this is really great fresh, but you just reminded me, speaking of butter and sugar, grilled pineapple or bananas Foster, those two like do so well over some high heat with a little butter, sugar, a splash of rum. Yeah. So good.
Put them on the barbecue when you're finished, or when you're taking off your meat. I adore roasted fruit. I've got a section in my second cookbook about like pan fried fruits, and one of them I have bananas on there and I have pineapple, and it's like the simplest things but so delicious.
Well, thank you both so much for all that insight, and let us know where you're going on spring break, if you're going to any of these destinations, and what you are excited to try. Now we're going to jump into the Bold Baking Hotline, where we answer questions directly from you. We are talking all about some fun fruit-inspired recipes from your website. So our first question is in regards to your pineapple chutney recipe on your website, and it's from Denise. She would like to know, would this recipe work with canned crushed pineapple?
Yes, I've made it with canned pineapple. I've also made it with frozen pineapple, I think, and it works really well. I don't know if you got to taste the pineapple chili or pineapple chutney, but it's like with chili, I love to have it. It can be sweet. I love to have it, you can have meats and cheeses, but I love to have it with curry. So for those of you who are looking a little bit like sweet, tropical, like it's really delicious.
That sounds good. Great. Our next question is in reference to your mango butter mochi recipe, and this is from Abdullah. The question is, I was wondering if I can use other fruits along with the mangoes, like pineapple and passion fruit, pureed of course. What are your recommendations in this regard? Also, do you recommend adding zest to the batter?
Kind of going backwards first, for sure, you can definitely add zest to the batter. And I think anytime you're doing any fruit-based dessert, no matter what, add a little lemon or lime zest. It really makes a difference. It makes the fruit pop. And in terms of, if you want to replace the mango puree with another fruit, you definitely can. I would just recommend that you stick to, in the same proportions, I would just recommend that you stick to any fruit that's intensely flavored. Pineapple would be really good. Passion fruit would be good. Even raspberry would be intensely flavorful. I don't know if that would be good or strange. So, try it if you want. I would stay away from like melon, which I think would just disappear. It might be good, or it might, you might want to experiment. I wouldn't necessarily think, or stone fruits, depending on how intense the flavor is. Those flavors may or may not be present once you put them into a butter mochi, because it's competing with so many other flavors in the butter mochi itself. So that, but happy experimenting. Like if you make like some fruit that I'd mentioned or didn't mention, it actually works, leave it in the comments. I'd love to know.
Well, great. Thank you both so much. And thanks to all of you for listening. Please like, subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you all have a wonderful spring break, and you can catch every episode of Need to Know on YouTube.
From HRN and the Bold Baking Network, you are watching the Need to Know Baking Entertainment podcast.